Hey guys, I'm Nick, and on this episode of the Scran Line, I'm going to show you guys the perfect macaron to celebrate 2017. Now, before we get stuck into it, I want you guys to leave me a comment down below telling me what the best part of 2016 was for you guys. Now, there are a lot of really crappy moments of 2016, but what was the best part of 2016 for you? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, these macarons are really special. They're right over there. I just finished filming them today actually. So they're a vanilla macaron with a swirl of rose buttercream, and in the center I have a rose champagne jelly. Now, these macarons are best eaten on the day that they're made. I'm going to leave that in the written recipe. But let's get stuck into it. These are the ingredients you need to make them. Okay guys, so to make these rose champagne macarons, the ingredients you're going to need are some sugar, almond meal, some icing or powdered sugar, 2 batches of egg whites which I've just separated, so it's 2 different 110 gram batches of egg whites. It's all in the written recipe. I was going to use gold colour mist, but I decided to use pearl and red instead, so I've got those listed in the recipe as well. Some water, and of course our rose champagne, which we're going to turn into jelly with the help of some powdered gelatin. You're also going to need some AmeriColor Deep Pink food gel. And guys, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I upload 2 new videos a week. We're going to start off by making our champagne jelly. So add some water to your powdered gelatin, and you want to mix that, let it sit for about 5 minutes. And then you want to microwave it for about 10 to 15 seconds. That's going to get it nice and melted. Next, we're going to add our rose champagne to a large microwave safe bowl. Add that melted gelatin. It's going to look gross and like it hasn't melted in properly, but we're going to pop this in the microwave for about 2 minutes. Now, you might be thinking, Nick, you didn't put sugar in this, but the sweetness from the macarons and the frosting is going to help balance out that bitterness and sourness from the champagne jelly. We're going to pop this into the fridge for about 4 hours. Overnight is best. And once that's set, we're going to use like a little piping tip. So a smallest one that you can find. You're going to make these little cutouts, and that's going to be the center of your macarons. Now, to make the macarons, we're going to pop half of the almond meal into our food processor, half of the icing sugar. Now, once you've mixed these together, you can repeat with the other half. If you don't have a food processor, you can just sift these ingredients together. I'd recommend doing it about 3 times because you want to make sure everything is really well combined. We're going to pop that into a large bowl, make a little well in the center before you add your first batch of egg whites. We're going to mix that until it forms a paste. Once it's formed a paste, cover it with some Glad wrap and set it aside. Moving on to our syrup, we're going to add our water and sugar into a small saucepan. Give it a gentle stir just to help them mix together. Now for this part, guys, you're going to need a candy thermometer. You can pick these up from your local cake stores, or you can grab them online. They're not really that expensive, about $15 to $20. Now we want to let that get to a gentle boil, and once we reach 115 degrees Celsius, you want to put that second batch of egg whites on to get nice and frothy. Once we reach 118, you're going to very slowly, in a thin and steady stream, add that very hot syrup to your egg whites while the mixer is on high speed. Once it's all in there, you want to mix for about 3 minutes before you add your vanilla and pink food dye. Continue mixing for a little while before you stop the mixer and scrape down the bowl. All up, you want to mix this for about 6 to 7 minutes. If you can turn the bowl upside down and nothing falls out, you know it's done. We're going to add 1 spatula full of that meringue to our almond mixture from earlier on. Mix that until it's really well combined. That's going to help thin out that thick almond mixture. Then you can add the rest of your meringue. And this is the important part, guys. I know I say this in every macaron video, but this is mainly where everyone goes wrong. It's all in the mixing. Now, some people like to count the amount of times they mix. I think that's a little bit silly. I like to go around the bowl with a spatula and then through the middle. And that's gonna help thin out your mixture. It's gonna kind of deflate the egg whites. So once the mixture falls off the spatula in a ribbon, which is what I call a ribbon stage, you know it's done. We're gonna add a little dollop of that meringue mixture on the corner of our baking tray and line it with some baking paper. I'm using a round tip to pipe these macarons about 3 centimeters in width. Once you've piped them all, you want to gently tap your tray. That's going to help all the air bubbles come to the top so that your macarons rise properly. You want to set these aside to dry for about 30 minutes in open air. Once they've dried and you can touch them and they're not sticky anymore, you want to bake them for about 10 minutes. Now our macarons have baked. I'm going to spray them with some pearl mist. Now I'm using the Wilton brand. I've listed that in the ingredients. You're going to let this sit for about 10 to 15 minutes just to let that dry before you add the second layer of red mist. Just on one side of the macarons because you want to have kind of like a gradient effect. Let those dry for about 20 minutes before you try putting these things together. Now for the frosting, you're going to add some rose essence to some buttercream frosting. A recipe for that can be found on my website. You can buy rose essence online or from your local Middle Eastern supermarket. We're going to add a little dollop of that cute champagne jelly in the center of our macarons. I fitted the end of my piping bag with a small French tip. I'm going to frost these in a double swirl. Then we're going to add the other end of our macaron, and guys, that is pretty much it. Okay guys, so those were my rose champagne cupcakes. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. The recipe is going to be on my website, thescranline.com. Link for that is in the box below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I upload 2 new videos a week for you guys. I've got 2 videos over there for you guys to click on for more deliciousness. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you all on the next episode of the Scran Line.